Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. I'm excited for the first time, right? This is your first time, Chris.
First
First
time.
time. Chris Pflueger's here. He's managing director of IAD Florida. We found out later in life that we're fraternity brothers as well, Sigma Chi's.
Absolutely.
And he is here to talk about all things IAD Florida. Had the pleasure of meeting him right before their kickoff when I was blessed enough, thanks to Tammy Birchler, to do some interviews when you did your launch. How many years ago was that? Is that almost three? Or is it
No,
almost?
it's about 22 months ago.
Okay, so
2022.
almost 2 years ago.
Almost.
But I'm excited to have you on the show. Chris, welcome. How you doing today?
I am doing very well, Ted. Thank you very much. You caught me right before another trip, an international trip for work, but I had been neglecting to jump on your show, and it's my fault for delaying the scheduling. So I apologize, but I'm excited to be here.
We're just happy to have you. So before we start talking about IAD, tell them a little bit about your background. You know, my audience loves to know an origin story. So tell them a little bit about how you got to where you're at now.
It's a fantastic story. So my father, my mother are both licensed realtors in the state of Florida. For my dad was probably 62 years. And I had sworn I would never get involved in real estate after watching the ebbs and flows of real estate. My dad developed a whole bunch of property outside of Ocala, and I lived on some of that property when I was in middle school, into high school, and I thought, we're never doing this again if I can avoid it. But it's inevitable. You get drawn into it, Ted. You just do.
You do. You really do.
It's part of the deal. So I started flipping properties back when I was working as a financial analyst for Verizon. And I was flipping properties in Clearwater.
Financial analyst for Verizon. I love it.
True. It was true. And that's not the normal path, I promise you. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to flip some properties. I did flip a bunch of properties. And then I thought, I'm going to move to Denver because why not? Right? We figured we'd try something different with a family. And then I got into real estate full time because I could not find a realtor in Colorado who understood what they were doing on the investment side.
That's so interesting. I wonder why. Just Colorado?
No, it's in general. But I thought it was great. As a realtor myself, I can promise you, everyone has the attention span of a gnat these days. So, and I'm one of those people. So I'm not going to neglect to say that.
We're not judging. We understand.
No, it's part of the deal. So, but it's hard to get people to really focus on investors and the numbers and the financial aspect of it. And from there, I ended up going from Keller Williams as a team leader and the number 2 team in the office to Remax at headquarters, worked for headquarters for about 12 years in Denver. And I had the pleasure of working in multiple countries. I had the pleasure of running franchise sales for the U.S., our recruiting and retention department, 4 different regions. And I can tell you, I got to meet a lot of realtors from every different brand. So that's how I kind of got here.
So let's talk a little bit about IAD. When I started talking to people about IAD and your kickoff almost 2 years ago, people are like, what is IAD? So for somebody with all the experience, what was it about IAD that was exciting for you?
Well, it's the airport code for Dulles Airport. So that's always, whenever you search and people say, are you in DC? And we're not. We're actually based out of Orlando. IAD is not well known in the United States. That's one of the things that both was interesting and also a challenge for me, right? So I had been approached and they say, Chris, what do you think about this European brand that wants to launch in Florida? And I thought, no way. And they said, there's 20,000 agents. They're in 7 countries. There's millions of transactions. There's a deal closed every 7 minutes. Are you sure you're not interested? I said, I'd be interested. Let's talk about it. And I had the pleasure of being able to get backed by a $1 billion company who wanted to start in the state of Florida. I'm the managing broker, managing director. And so to get an opportunity to get on the ground floor of something that looks like a virtual brand like EXP or LPT or something else 15 years ago, even though they started before all of those in Europe, I thought, man, this is a ground floor opportunity of a proven brand in Florida. The stars aligned. That was it.
I mean, of course, I love the fact that it's based in France, right? Is where
it was based out of Paris, correct?
So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that as a place to go to. What I loved about the interviews and the kickoff was everybody was so genuine and truly interested in figuring out how to make the Florida market successful for their agents and their agency force. And you could tell that with everybody that you spoke with. And so that's why I was very excited to be part of it in the beginning, because I could tell you all had a passion for your agents.
Well, that's the one thing I will tell you that was different for me, Ted. As I came in, most brands would have told you, hey, we need 1,000 agents in about 4 months, and or else we don't feel like it's successful. And that's exactly the opposite of what IAD came in. I actually report to the president of the global brand, and he came in and said, listen, we want to grow a foundation of agents. We want to make sure you understand this is agent first, right? This is meant for the agents. I don't have like a team myself. I'm not developing. I'm not even recruiting myself, right? I'm recruiting for our teams to help them build big, successful brands for themselves, right? Their own teams. And at the end of the day, one of the things that really drew me to this was most agents out there, and that's our number one joke, is most agents, you never go to their retirement party because no one can ever retire, right? They're always perpetual. I need one more deal. Yes. I'm 78. I've got the dog in the picture. One more deal, Chris. I can retire. So, it's really not a business that, well, it's a fantastic business. It's a tough business that's very adversarial in most offices, especially high producers and offices. And it just wears on you after a period of time. So IAD was exactly the opposite, right? It was designed where agents work together. It's a very collaborative culture. In as much as we've set up, what we call the Inspire space, which are
I love it.
It's something that the agents came and said, hey, Chris, we need to put something like that together. I said, I love it. Let's put it together. And then we open it up not only to our own agents where we do training classes, but we open it up to anybody who wants to come in. Any agent that wants to come in, you're pre-licensed, you've been licensed, you've been 20 years in the business. We open it up to Ted. Ted, if you want to do classes, as you know, you've come in and done our place. So we are very much about the community, agent community, and making it better as a whole. So we're very excited about that part.
You absolutely do. And if you haven't been to the Inspire space, it is just this open, wonderful space where you can, you have a class coming up, which I want to make sure we do not talk about. It's on the 21st, which is Wednesday, but there's all sorts of opportunities for agents to learn and put tools in their toolbox. And the point is about agent growth, not necessarily recruitment, which is what a lot of times when agents host things at their own event space or an office, it can be a challenge for other agents to go to. But you all make it so open and welcoming that people want to go there. So talk about the event on the 21st.
So we've noticed that most agents, right, out in the marketplace, especially after last year's numbers, where you saw that, 70% of agents did not do a single transaction. You start to wonder, are they in the business or they were just hanging out? So we thought to ourselves, listen, we need to promote the fact that one of our founding teams with Carrie and Dave Courtney, they came into the IAD, embraced it, really have grown. I think we've grown 350% since they originally came on board. And they are a Zillow Flex team. And I said, what would be a good idea is to explain to a lot of agents what Zillow can do for you. And rather, I know it can be controversial, right? Zillow, it's a love-hate relationship. But at the end of the day, if you embrace the part that generates the leads, the actual closing of deals and leverage what's available to you, you can be quite successful as an agent, especially in the early stages of your career, right? And so we are promoting an event that is really not an IAD event, although it's hosted our space. It's really a Zillow Flex event or a Zillow event. We have speakers from Zillow coming in. We have our own Zillow coach. We have everybody coming in to talk about how fantastic and the opportunities that are available. And, for agents who are not just thirsty, but they might be, they're starving for business, right? It's really quite tough out there in some instances. We want to make sure that they have all of the knowledge, and they have the same opportunity with IAD that Dave and Carrie did to build out your own team, your own space, your own everything you want to do, and keep your branding. And at the end of the day, what I was talking about before is we actually have the ability for you to sell your team. You can sell your downline, you can sell your business.
Wow.
When you want to leave, and we are not participating in that. So this is the only opportunity in the United States where you can actually build up a huge revenue stream for you, both on the enterprise side and on your own sales side, and then sell the enterprise side when you leave and actually walk away with a retirement. It's truly unique.
That is so unique. And you've been around the block, no pun intended, no age comments there, but you've, yeah, me too, my friend. You have been around the block and know that's the great thing about this conversation one of the reasons why I love IADs was that you do take a different approach, and the way that you think about the agent and because it's very European, the approach, to be honest. It's thinking about the long term, having a work-life balance, really being able to take something that you've built up, and if you want to sell it, that's a huge, huge plus for people who have worked. Think about some of the agents who have worked for XYZ for 20, 25 years, and if they leave, they leave. I mean,
yeah, they're bye-bye, and that's it.
Later.
Yeah.
But you all take such a positive approach when you are meeting with, or even when you have an event, you're including other agents and from all over to come to the event, to benefit from the event. And it's not in your face. So by the way, you came to my event. Now I'm going to follow up with you 75 times, and I need you to sign on the dotted line right here and become an IAD agent. There's nothing like that. And that's why I love promoting. That's why when Dave and Carrie said, hey, can you promote Wednesday? I'm like, of course I can promote. I promote anything that they ask me to anyway. But why I wanted you to come on and really share your journey, because you have such a varied experience that when you talk about these things, you know what the agents have gone through and what they go through.
And it's always tough to see that too, especially when agents are in the business for as long as they are. Even owners, like, going back to some of the owners we've seen at Remax and some of the other brands, they basically get the end of their franchise term, and it's not like they had a 401k and government checks coming in at the end of the day. Either the business worked or it didn't. Right. And we're in business for ourselves and by ourselves in many cases, right? So we wanted to make sure with the IAD model, and that's why I was truly drawn to it, was the fact that it actually has a benefit all the way along for the agents. We're here to support the agents in their growth. They can build teams or not build teams. And if they do build a team and they want to sell it, they actually walk away with something. It's a win-win-win for everybody. And I can't think of a better way to do it. But I was actually surprised by how someone thought of this 16 years ago, and it actually is as relevant today as it was 16 years ago. And it's just been an honor to be part of it. So
I love it. All right. So what's the best way they can find out about Wednesday's event and find out more about IAD?
So if you're looking for any information, you can find out on the website. I think it's running across the bottom there, iadflorida.com. We have the event flyers going out everywhere, but it'll be at the Inspire Space, which is 7362 Fortunes Drive, Unit 18. And that'll be noon on Wednesday. I will be there. We are close to getting a full house already. So if you're thinking about it, feel free to drop by. We will have some drinks, some lunch, and we're going to talk a lot. We're going to hear mainly from Zillow, right? And what makes it fantastic to be working with them. Again, love it or hate it, it's in our marketplace. You need to understand it. And again, if you want to participate in it, you'd be a guy doing deals versus people not doing deals. So that's what I like about it.
And you can find the actual link to the event is on my Linktree, which is scrolling across the bottom there. I added it for Wednesday. Chris, one last question I always like to ask personal. In all of your years, business or personal, when I say the word hero, who's the first person that comes to mind for you?
Wow, that's a tough one. I would probably say my father, because
Tell me why.
He's been a kind of an inspiration over a long period of time. He's turning, believe it or not, 94 years old the end of this week. And they had me very late. They didn't abandon me, although I always joke that my rich family must be out there still looking for me. But they swear I was not adopted. So but he's always been someone that's been full on support, regardless of what happened, what situation you're in. He's been a pretty much a support throughout my life. So
that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. All right, you all reach out to Chris, reach out to me. Look at all the links scrolling or in the body of this post and show. I can get you there, but big event on May 21st, which is this Wednesday at noon at the Inspire Space. Ask Zillow Anything, I think is the title or something like that. And so get out there, put some tools in your toolbox, and just know that you're not going to be harped on. This is a true, I love the name of it, the Inspire Space. And so it is a true place for you to be where you can learn and be educated and grow your business and get the tools. All right, Chris, Brother, I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Reach out to Chris. You know you want to. Or you can reach out to Dave or Carrie. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Bye, guys.